Hello, everybody, it's me, George, and today I wanted to share with you a book haul. The reason being is that I realised the other day that this is without doubt the largest haul of books that I have got at one given point in time throughout the 20 plus years of practicing witchcraft. Um, I often find myself reading more at the darker half of the year, be it autumn and winter, because I often find that really what happens with me is that I think it's to do with the actual longer nights, the darker nights, the colder nights. And there's something really comforting I find about being snuggled up on the sofa after having a shower, being literally draped in comfies and like pajamas and loose fitting clothes with like my candles and like music. I know you're probably thinking, who the fuck does this guy think he is? But genuinely, like a glass of red wine or like a nice cup of hot chocolate. I absolutely love it. And you know what? It's what makes me happy, and that's a lot of the time what I enjoy doing at the darker half of the year. So without further ado, let's get started. The first book I wanted to recommend to you guys is this book. The Witch Compass, Working with the Winds in Traditional Witchcraft by Ian Chambers. Foreword by Griffin Ked, or Griffin said. Apologies for the pronunciation and mispronunciation of that name. I've done a review about this, and the next two books, including this one that I'm going to be bringing up, I have done reviews on that you can check out my previous videos. But this book, for me, I thoroughly enjoyed this book. This book, in my opinion, is a masterpiece, actually. It's taken the occult and witchcraft community by storm, and it really is an incredible corpus of work from Ian Chambers himself. And this book was completely different from any other traditional witchcraft book that I've ever read before in my life. And I've read this book like twice, two and a half. Look, I can't help myself. I'm like halfway to reading it 3 times now. Really enjoyed this work, and I can't recommend this enough. Masterpiece. Genuinely, it's amazing. So there's that one. The next book that I have that I've also done a book review on is Welsh Witchcraft, A Guide to the Spirits, Law and Magic of Wales by Mara Starlin. And I wanted to talk about this book because, again, I've done a review as mentioned, but I really enjoyed this book. I really enjoyed this book. And actually, I found that this book was quite sorely needed because I also found that, in regards to Welsh folk magic and Welsh witchcraft, just as the author states, there's not as much sort of resources there as there should be, really. And I really enjoyed this. I really loved the way that the author Mara wrote. I love the way that she writes. I love all of her opening up about her personal practice. And that's a big thing for me. That's something that I thoroughly enjoy in regards to being a reader, is reading up about another author's practice. And she opens up about this and more. She actually opens up about some personal aspects of her life as well, which I found profoundly beautiful. Overall, I really enjoyed this work and I really enjoyed this book, and yeah, loved it. So, the next two books, I am so happy to kind of announce this, and the level of the depth of gratitude that I have is incredible. And I'm so thankful. But I done a while back a review on the Star-Crossed Serpent, by Volume 3 by Evan John Jones and Shani Oates, and because of this, Gabriel from Anathema Publishing was watching it and was quite pleased with my book review. And as a thanks and gratitude, I'm so happy about this. He sent me these two beautiful books as a thank you. And they are without a doubt the most beautiful books I think I've ever owned in my life in terms of their aesthetics. They are so pretty. And they are Craft and the Art of Tradition by Shani Oates and The Devil's Supper by Shani Oates. So look at that. I mean, I can't get over that. I really can't. Wow, I just thoroughly enjoyed these two, just when I opened the parcel up and I looked at these two bodies of work, I just enjoyed the way they looked. Like, I haven't even read them, but I was like, wow. And Gabriel, if you are watching this, truly from the bottom of my heart, I want to say merci beaucoup pour le livre, mon ami. And je suis désolé parce que mon français c'est mal. I hope that makes sense. You wouldn't believe that I used to live in France, would you? It's terrible. I keep trying to practice, but anyway, I don't live in a country where most people speak French. It's kind of really hard. But back to the subject at hand. What I wanted to say, thank you so much, my friend. It's so, the depth of gratitude I have for sending me these are amazing. So thank you so much. I can't wait to read The Devil's Supper by Shani Oates. I'm actually over halfway through Crafting the Art of Tradition by Shani Oates. The artwork within this it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll show you one bit of the artwork. It's stunning. It's so beautiful. So I'm over halfway through. It's taken me some time to read this book, admittedly. I have to be completely honest with you because, again, what I'm about to say isn't a read as well. It's just how I personally, as a reader, kind of process the information, how Shani writes. And it's actually not a read, it's actually a compliment, really. Is that a lot of the times with Shani's writing, particularly with this book, I've had to take breaks from it and kind of evaluate what it is that she says, because I'm scared that if I read it all in one go, it won't process as much for me and I won't absorb the information as much within my head. So, like I said, it's not a read at all, actually quite the opposite. I think it's completely different. I've never read a book that's made me think like that, or I've never actually read a book in that way before, so it's completely and utterly different. And actually, I think something that makes me think is quite good, So I have been enjoying it, but I think after finishing reading this, I'll read another publication, then I'll go on to The Devil's Supper, and I cannot wait to read this. I literally cannot wait to read. I'm so excited to read that book. But yeah, so I'm just, honestly, I think without doubt, they are the most prettiest books I have ever owned in my life, and I will be forever grateful for this. So thank you so much, Gabriel. Thank you so much. It really, truly means the world to me. And also a credit to Shani Oates for making these beautiful books as well, alongside Anathema. Thank you so much. I just wanted to take that moment and also share that with you, because I think that's awesome. I absolutely love that, and I think, like I said, I think it's so kind and so lovely. Super excited. The next book is Wild Witchcraft, Folk Herbalism, Garden Magic and Foraging for Spells, Rituals and Remedies by Rebecca Bayer. Or Bayer. Apologies, Rebecca, if I've got that mixed up, my lovely. But this book is a book I've wanted to read for a long time. I have made a bit of a start on it, but in truth, I'm really bad at folding pages. I'm so bad for it. I'm so sorry. But in truth, I'm going to go back to the beginning and read it from the beginning. The reason being is that with this book, I've been quite easily distracted, and I think that's also been editing. I think, I'll come back to that later. And actually, every time I pick it up and read a bit, I'm like, this is really good. Why do I keep, why do I feel like I've not got enough time to read this? So once my book, The Ineffable Name, is edited, I'm probably going to make this the next book that I read. And want to finish Crafting the Art of Tradition. I've literally got books coming out my ear rolls, by the way. I don't know how this has happened. I do, from lack of self-restraint and self-control. I genuinely have a bit of a problem. But I can't wait to read this, because foraging really is my bag, as a practitioner, as a person of witchcraft, foraging what is quite a large aspect of my practice, or at the least used to be. In Manchester, I used to go foraging all the time, and I used to go with a group, and it got to the point where I became confident enough to forage on my own and identify certain mushrooms, certain funguses, certain plants on my own, and to be able to take them home and actually forage for food, and make some really lovely dishes. So yeah, like wild garlic salmon and scarlet elf caps and stir fries out of jelly ears or Judas ears. I really enjoyed foraging. I think maybe next year I'm going to look into joining a foraging group in Glasgow, because I missed my foraging group in Manchester. Yeah. But anyway, long story short, this book looks beautiful. The illustrations and the drawings in it look absolutely gorgeous. And I have to say, Rebecca Bayer, you've created a very, very pretty, beautiful thing here. I'm not going to show all, but I look at that. I love that front cover. Yeah, I think it looks so beautiful. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. So that's that. The next two aren't physically with me because I've only just ordered them. Number one is Roger J. Horne, The Witch's Devil. And, I've seen some really, really good reviews about that book, and I've seen people absolutely raving about that book. I've seen some really good things about it, and actually some people have shared some excerpts from the book and been quite inspired by the book. So I really can't wait to read that. To be fair, I can't wait to read that. I can't wait to read The Devil's Supper, and then that as well, or that and The Devil's Supper this time of year as well, Halloween. Love that. It's what I need in my life, like massively. Yeah, so I'm really, really looking forward to getting that. And the other one that I'm really looking forward to getting is Wished Waters by Gemma Gary. And that, if I'm not mistaken, was on Freehands Press originally, I believe, was available via Freehands Press, and I think now it's available via Troy Books. But I've always wanted to read that book for years. Ever since I saw it, I was like, because working with water within my practice is quite a fundamental kind of part of my practice. It really is something that actually, I work with smoke and fire and water. I work a lot with smoke and fire because I am a fire element. I'm a double Leo, sun and moon, and I'm a water sign on my rising sign. So I work with smoke and fire primarily. I'm a pyromaniac. Everything has to be set alight, or there has to be incense or smoke. And, either or, there has to be water. So yeah, but I can't wait to read that book. I cannot wait. And I'm really looking forward to it. Now, I wanted to end this book haul on a note that may in fact make me look contradictive or even hypocritical, and apologies if it does do that. But I've just finished watching a really, really good video by Taya Kennedy. If you guys don't know her channel, please go and check it out. She has some great content regarding witchcraft, especially traditional witchcraft. And definitely subscribe her, because I really like her. I really like her energy. And yeah, she just seems like a lovely human being, to be honest, as well as she knows what she's on about. But she's done a really, really good anti-haul. And the anti-haul effectively was about, consumerism and capitalism and things like that, and the kind of impact of that upon people's practices and crafts. And she actually pointed out, look, you don't need all this stuff in order to practice. You don't need all this stuff in order to be a good witch. And it was aimed at people that may not be as financially well off, or financially, some people that may struggle with their finances. And I can completely and utterly relate to that, to be honest. I was born and bred on a council estate in East London, in a really, really poor area where the rats were literally bigger than the cats. So I grew up with poverty, and I can completely understand that, especially when I was younger, being a teenager and being a teenage witch, that, I had all these cravings for all these books and all these things, but actually, it was the kind of everyday items that did enhance my craft and actually helped my craft. But yeah, I hope I don't appear to be contradictory or hypocritical just fresh after doing a book haul and being like, look at all these amazing books I've got, and then recommending a book against consumerism and capitalism. You know, it's almost like I've done this book like, yay, capitalism, and then afterwards I'm like, bad capitalism, which I realise kind of doesn't really add up. But I just feel like after watching that, it would be wrong to kind of do a book haul and then to not recommend Taya Kennedy's anti-haul, because I think that she hit the nail on the head what she said, actually. But yeah, I hope that thing at the end makes sense, and I hope I just don't look like a massive hypocrite, but we'll see. On top of the book haul as well, obviously, I have The Ineffable Name, my second book, which is coming out this Halloween. If you guys are unaware, check out my previous video regarding that. So yeah, apart from that, that's everything, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed this book haul. Once again, very, very, thank you so much, guys, for subscribing and supporting me. A gratitude of thanks to Anathema Publishing. So very kind, and I'm so taken back by all that. I know that they wasn't even expecting recognition for the gifts which they gave me, but I think it would only be right for me to give recognition. But it was so incredibly kind. So yeah, over and out. Peace.